There's no country on planet Earth where Christians are more persecuted than Nigeria. Since 2009, more than 50,000 Christians have been murdered in Nigeria. In that same time period, more than 20,000 Christian churches and schools have been destroyed, burned to the ground. And there is a systematic persecution of Christians by Boko Haram and by other radical Islamic terrorists. I've spent the better part of a decade fighting to stand up to radical Islamic terrorists who are targeting Christians. And the president, I actually saw the president this week, and I pulled him aside to say thank you for designating Nigeria. The consequence of that now, that unlocks targeted sanctions on state officials, targeted sanctions on the country itself and on state and local officials. And indeed, the next step needs to be implementing those specific sanctions.
U.S. government at this present time has banned the use of Sharia law in Nigeria. And of course, I went as far as prescribing government terrorists, army in the north called Hisba. At this point, they are sending a serious warning to Nigeria that if care is not taken, they might take a further step to break this entity and allow Sharia for those who want to practice Sharia. What's your reaction?
It is a very nice thing to do at this point, considering the fact that over 52,000 Christians has been killed by this Islamic extremists. Now we are in a country whereby some persons perceive that the entire country belongs to them, whereby Christian genocide is being carried on a daily basis, and the government on their own have refused to listen to the cries of the Christian. The question remains that for how long can we be trapped in this contraption called one Nigeria, a country where the government in power negotiates with bandits, despite the killings, despite the crimes of the people in the country. So at this point, I can say that I can guarantee that every intervention of the Nigerian government, it is a welcome idea. Everyone who has spoken out against the unjust of the Christian genocide in Nigeria is facing one charges or the other. You see the likes of nnamdikanu. nnamdikanu is suffering persecution today because he is a Christian, because he is an Igbo. Same thing with Semenepa, that everyone who comes out to speak against these Fulani extremists and these Fulani jihadists, the Fulanis would do everything possible for that person to be kicked out from the system. Now that the US is now championing the war, saying enough is enough, Sultan Of Sokoto has come out to say that Americans want to divide Nigeria. That is the motive of the US government, and that Donald Trump will not make Nigeria a Christian state. Sultan Of Sokoto, this is the same man who said that bandits should be given preferential treatment. This same man, and now Gumi has been the mediator between the bandits and those who have been kidnapped. These are all things that the US government is seeing. So they have to prescribe the country, Nigeria, a place of concern. And now they are crying foul, saying that 100,000 of Donald Trump cannot divide the country. Who says that Donald Trump cannot divide the country? They have their motive. The Fulani have their motives of conquest, and they will not bend, and they will not relent until that conquest is being achieved in Nigeria. In a country that is of a secular state, you want to Islamize everybody. You want the Fulani jihadists to take over every nooks and crannies of our ancestral land. And now, in conjunction with the government, Because if the government is being sincere, the government would have uncovered this issue of insecurity in the country. And the Fulani cabals in the north are roaming around. They are roaming around without nothing being done to them. Just imagine some days ago, Fulani announced in Plateau that there will not be Christmas celebration in Plateau State. Is that not that is a clear indication that these guys are driving towards an agenda? And now, ever since that was being said, Sultan of Sokoto, Sheikh Gumi has not come out to condemn the actions of the Fulanis who officially banned Christmas in Plateau State. But when America intervened, they say Trump, they tend to see Trump as a threat, saying that Trump has the intention to bring Christianity in to Nigeria. Between the intention of the Western world, of the US government, and that of the Fulani, which one is more preferable? And kudos to the US congressmen for standing up to fight, because this is not even about Christian alone. It is about this integration of the one Nigeria, because we know the way that nothing in this country can work. The best way option is that every region should go on their own. Let the Igbos go on their own. Let the Arewas, whatever region they tend to do, let them go for this. And then kudos to the US government again for prescribing Hisba, a terrorist group. Because the Hisba, what is the function of the Hisba? Causing chaos in the north.
Looking for people who are drinking beer, stopping.
And most of these targets are not Christians. Are not Christians in the north, because it is also a means of persecution. It is a means, because you cannot tell me that see, you will say that non-indigenous in your state should not take alcohol, because definitely know that these are Christians and people would want to take beer or nothing.
Okay, Mr. Day, let us come to this trending video. How did the Hausas regain consciousness now? Because the last meeting of our executive consultative forum, we saw the northern governors and all that, saying very clearly, like as if they are backing the terrorists and jihadists, and nothing will happen to them. And that have angered the entire Hausa community in the north, and they are coming up and are speaking that there might be uprising against the Fulanis in the north. How did the Hausas themselves regain consciousness? Did you factor nnamdikanu in this?
I did, because the influence of nnamdikanu is a major eye opener for the Hausas. You saw what transpired even in Sokoto prison, that is the headquarters of the Fulani Caliphate. Conversion is being made inside the prison. Over 250 inmates has come to the reality, and then accept Jesus Christ as their personal Lord and Savior. Has claimed. Now, the rumor reaching us that is that they want to transfer nnamdikanu from Sokoto Caliphate prison to Zamfara because of the spread of nnamdikanu and the spread of the biafra. That the Hausa should stand their ground against this conquest of the Fulanis, and that is really spreading. You saw what the last president said about nnamdikanu, who is a poor Hausa man, which said nnamdikanu opened their eye to know that it is high time they take over their ancestral land. Just nnamdikanu is even told him to the point that in the 19th state of the north there is no Hausa governor. That was the eye opener to them and to the entire northern people, to the northern core of them, saying that come 2027, if Nigeria has not integrated by them, that they will challenge the Fulani in these offices. So the influence of nnamdikanu, and that is why the Fulanis are against nnamdikanu, because Kanu Kanu is preaching this gospel that you don't allow immigrant people who migrated from the foot island to take over your ancestral land, even for the influence of Mazi Kanu that stopped them in the east. You can see what is happening in Kwara. They have taken over all the lands in Kwara State, dominated everywhere in Kwara State. But for the influence of Mazi Kanu, they have stopped them in the east. And today, they are frowning. They are frowning. So the influence of Mazi Kanu in the Nigerian space has really is a major game changer for the Hausas and to everyone. And then, if not for the influence of Mazi Kanu, the US Congress wouldn't have had the cry of the oppressed. Acknowledge it now. So the effect of Kanu has really changed a whole lot in the Nigerian space. And to this, kudos to Mazi Kanu on it. And to the Sultan Of Sokoto, enough is enough. There is no tactics you would want to do or carry on that the people are not very conscious of now. Now, we know who the terrorists are. We know what they are doing, and then we know that there are some influential persons who are backing terrorists. Because ever since these people have been fine people, none of these Fulani governments has come out to condemn the actions. And tomorrow you say Kanu is the problem. Ever since Kanu is no longer in his space now, as the body stop killing. Let Gumi come and tell people. Let Gumi come and tell Nigerians who is sponsoring this killing. Because as it stands now, I am sure that when that resolution is met, the US government Congress is saying any minute from now, a resolution will be made that a warrant of arrest will be declared on Shegumi. I am very sure of that. Thank you for always coming out.
Thank you.
Finally, an end has come to the issue of banditry in Nigeria. Finally, there is hope. Finally, a serious government has come out to speak and address the issue of banditry. The President of the United States has threatened to invade Nigeria with military if the Nigerian government fails to put an end to this issue of banditry. He threatened. He said he has told, as you can see in this picture, he has told the Department of War of the United States Army to get ready to invade Nigeria, to invade the north, and to invade the hideout of the bandits yesterday. That if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not put an end to these crimes happening across every nook of the country, and that if the government does not stop this issue of negotiating with bandits, that the US will take it upon themselves to invade the country and buy all the bandits. And even yesterday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself said he's ready to work with the US government. Power pass power. Power pass power. So yesterday also, Donald Trump came out and said that he will cut all the aid, all the loan he has been giving to Nigeria, because he cannot sit down and give loan to the Nigerian government while indirectly Christians are being persecuted. Christians are being killed on a daily basis, and yet the Nigerian government is not coming out to address the issue. And yet the same Nigerian government is not protecting the interests of Christians, as allegedly said by President J. Trump. So now the matter is that the US Department of War, they are ready. They are very much ready to come to the aid of people who are being persecuted in Nigeria, and Christians who are being killed on a daily basis. This is how you know a serious government who is ready to put an end to insurgency. This is how you know a serious government who is ready to buy those Fulani bandits. So all this while, the Nigerian government has not been serious, has never been serious to cope in insurgency. Now that Donald Trump has now come out publicly and openly to say that enough is enough, and that if nothing is being done, he will take the military strike. He will take the military strike. And now we've seen people in the north coming out to say Nigeria is not US. We've seen the likes of the Fulanis coming out to attack Donald Trump. We've seen Bashir Ahmed, the former spokesperson to President Buhari, has come out to say that Trump should stay in his US, and that there's no nexus between the Nigerian states and the US, that there's no link. But when the Nigerian government goes to the United States to seek for loan help, there is always a link. There's always a tie. There's always a bilateral relationship between Nigeria. Now that Donald Trump has now come out to say he wants to help Nigeria, he wants to help the Christians, he wants to help those who are being persecuted. We've seen everybody, all the northern extremists, are now coming out to condemn President Donald Trump on this. I am 100% support of this military invasion. President Donald Trump does not need to wait or give ultimatum to the Nigerian government or to the Nigerian military, because we know that these people negotiate with bandits. He negotiated with bandits. He even stated that no serious government would be negotiating with terrorists. That no serious government should negotiate with the terrorists. Yesterday, and now we've seen how the presidency has come out to deny that Christians are not being persecuted in Nigeria. It came to deny that Christians are not being persecuted in Nigeria. But now that the revelation is now out, everybody has come out to accept that there is Christian genocide happening in Nigeria. And yesterday, Mike Arnold, a former US mayor, has pointed accusing finger to the Sultan of Sokoto, that the Sultan should come out publicly with his only Quran. If he does not have hand, as allegedly said by Mike Arnold, that if he does not have hand in the genocide of the Christians in the north, he came out publicly. Up till now, the Sultan of Sokoto has not replied or make any official statement. The Sultan of Sokoto has not made any official statement in regards to the killings. That is how we know a serious government who is ready, who is all out to put an end to this Fulani invasion. That is how you know a serious government who is all out to put an end to the Fulani takeover. That is it. President Tinubu now is not scared. Because Donald Trump said he cannot sit down in US and watch why people are being paid on a daily basis, and yet every now and then the Nigerian government runs to the United States for loan to seek help. So now he said his military would have to come on board. His own army would have to come on board for this issue of insurgency to come to an end. For Trump to have said that, Trump have seen lots different kind of evidence. He have watched different kind of videos. That is true. These people are really suffering from the Fulani takeover and the Fulani conquest. It is true. And that is the only reason why they are still holding nnamdikanu in detention, because of the Fulani conquest. If you could remember vividly that nnamdikanu predicted all this, that the Fulani has an hidden agenda, and that the Fulani has a purpose, and the purpose is to Islamize and take over people who don't share the same faith with them. But some persons were of the view that that all what Kanu was saying, that Kanu was saying it from his own